So we started off with the planning, and I've seen it. I mean, you're kind of a meticulous planner. I mean, I've seen the whiteboards and stuff. Does that kind of come? I mean, you talked about you two people that that died. I mean, does that kind of feed into the need to plan?
I mean, it's always in the background
Yeah.
more so from a survival standpoint for that.
Yeah.
The planning ties into everything. So
Okay.
so I mean, yes, that's it would be the answer to your question,
Sure.
but you have to plan everything, whether you're a rookie police officer, or a seasoned veteran, or a SEAL or a Green Beret or a paramedic. You have to plan your day. You've got to start. Okay, well, I got my duty belt on. I've got my keepers. I have my gun in my holster, because I can tell you there's a lot of people that have gone to work without a gun in their holster.
Hey, there's people that go to work and leave their kid in the back seat.
Yeah, because they've changed their pattern.
Yeah.
So by having a pattern or that mental checklist, it's going to help you succeed at whatever it is you're doing. We run checklist, for SWAT operations. We have checklists for stuff because it eliminates omissions and those mistakes. Because when you get woke up at 2 a.m. and you have to respond to a call out, and then you have
your shit straight.
Yeah, and you have to run the command post. There's certain things that you need to make sure that are done, and a checklist is going to help you through that. But at the end of the day, that also anything, let's say that the case ends up in court where you've had to shoot somebody,
well, I can tell you I did these things. Yeah. Is that like a literal list?
Oh yeah.
Or is it like in your head?
No, you have checklists for different things. And not 100% of everything will make it to the checklist.
Sure.
But, law enforcement agencies have been at this stuff for a long time. And a lot of these things have already been in place.
Okay.
So what we do is they're living documents. We build onto them, and we add stuff to them. It's just like, if I'm traveling, I plan prior to traveling so I don't forget anything. I mean, it's that simple. It's no different. We plan subconsciously with things that we do. It's like, I talk to people about, route planning. You have a route plan. If there's a wreck and you're driving home, do you have another way home?
Right. Yeah, of course.
What if that was blocked? Another way home?
I hope so.
Yeah. So typically you have a primary, secondary, and tertiary route home.
Right.
When we look at, security planning, we're looking at everything from, the perimeter to access control, intrusion detection, video monitoring,
You're just trying to work through those things before you have to do it on the fly.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk, concentric rings of security and what needs to be involved in that, and how it's layered, and whose responsibilities for in each ring as you collapse down to where your event location is. So it's
I get you.
Yeah, it just depends on what your task is,
right.
or your job that you have to do, and then you build your plan around that, and ideally primary, secondary on everything. But planning is definitely.
Well, I just finished. I'm wearing a shirt like a fanboy here. Just finished. Mike Glover.
Yeah.
He just wrote a book, Prepared, and it's the book's a lot about that.
Yeah.
The primary plans, all the stuff. But there's a lot dedicated to doing that and living that lifestyle, but also not being a weirdo.
Yeah. Well, it's funny
because I know people that are they talk about the same thing.
The proverbial preppers.
Yeah, there's people that are weird.
Yeah,
and it's like you don't have to be weird.
Yeah,
and I get like I'm not you. I don't do this for a living, but I kind of live in that world, and I talk to people, and it comes up, and people think I'm weird sometimes about like just being prepared. I've got this stuff in my car. Carry the med kit with the tourniquet. And I do those things.
Yeah. It's when I teach, I have a class that we teach survival strategies for the workplace, and it's not just the active shooter component, because we work in some industrial environments. It's what if somebody gets a appendage ripped off from a machine or something.
Yeah.
But and it's having those simple things. If you don't have a manufactured tourniquet, what can you use as an improvised tourniquet? Everybody says, "Oh, I can use a necktie or this or that."
Yeah.
One thing they're forgetting. Okay,
how you go tighten it.
The windlass, and
it's gonna be hard to do.
I could use a cord. Okay, what kind of cord? Will it stretch? Will it break?
Yeah.
Is it just going to cut in and not really do?
You're going to cause more damage.
You don't have the surface space.
Right.
So there's a lot of things, and I've made the crossing from Florida to the Bahamas to West End, and gone other places in the Bahamas. If you don't plan that stuff, it's not.
Yeah,
that
you're on your own.
It's not that you can just get lost. You can die.
Yeah.
Out there on a small boat.
Yeah.
You have to plan the weather. We hit a storm on our last trip there that created some pretty significant seas to where we're going up and then back down. So for a good 10 minutes of hell. And that was part of a squall. We're looking at radar